Who is this handsome fella? I'm back. Balder, fatter, older. I know it's been about a year since I've done a video. People have been pressuring me to do it, so I'll do one. I love doing these videos, but I got away from it, you know? Life got in the way. For the past year, I started a new job back in November. I worked at home for all of 2020, all of 2021. I worked at home. And then in November, I changed jobs, went back to the office, in the office every day. But I sit in front of a computer all day long. I'm a content creator, a creative director for a company. So I sit in front of the computer all day. I keep adjusting this, I'm sorry. Have a new phone, new camera. And at night, I don't want to fool with the computer anymore. I have other stuff I want to work on. And my son, he's getting a little older, he's 6. He started racing BMX bikes last year. And him doing BMX takes up all of our time. I mean, several nights a week, every weekend, racing BMX bikes. I'm sure if any of you follow me on social media, I post about it all the time. Feel free to follow me at any of the platforms. Don't be afraid to send me a friend request on anything. I'm not a weirdo like that won't accept your friend request. Anyway, I'm back. I will try to start doing these more regularly. Ben, old Brain Smasher, was on me the other day. He said to do a 5 unholy death metal records, and I didn't feel like thinking about it. So I got back to where I was with the CD collection. It's funny, I pulled out the next stack on the rack over here a year ago, and they've still been pulled out. So we'll talk about these. I'm sure that in the past year I've added, we're in the middle of the M's. I'm sure I've added some M's in there somewhere. But my CD collection is a fucking mess. You may see the stack back there. We're gonna point. There's a big stack back there because my shelves are full. There's CDs fucking everywhere. My record shelves are full. There's records stacked everywhere. There's cassette tapes everywhere. I'm out of room for all this shit. So, if you can hear it, we're listening to Friendless. Come on, focus there. Desolate Inscape, their first record. Really, really good. I guess it only wants to focus on me. There we go. Just killer fucking Copenhagen death metal. Love this album. Okay, we're gonna get into the CD collection, get into the M's. First up, I've got I got a couple from Monstrosity. One's missing because I know that it's in my truck. I've got In Dark Purity and Enslaving the Masses. If you go way, way back on my channel, I did a video just about this album. In Dark Purity is one of my favorite death metal albums of all time. It's just, I saw them on the tour for this. I had never listened to them. All I knew about Monstrosity is that's where Corpse Grinder came from when he joined Cannibal Corpse. And I had a chance to see them when I was like 18 or 19 years old. And I went to go see them. And they blew me away. They were great. They had a Slayer cover, which is on the CD. They cover Angel of Death. And I was just so impressionable. And I fucking went apeshit. Bought the CD. And it has been in my top 5 ever since. I mean, this is a Desert Island CD for me. Desert Island album. I fucking love it. It's just full of riffs. Full of melody. It's dark. It's dreary. It's just such a good death metal record. And it's overlooked. You know, even today, people just don't talk about it. But vinyl copies of it fetch $300-400. Last time I looked, there was 2 on Discogs. They were both $400. I'd kill to have a vinyl copy just to have it. But I'm not paying that kind of money for a record. So next we have Enslaving the Masses. This came out after that, and it's a double live disc of the Dark Purity tour. And it doesn't say which songs were recorded where, but, oh yes it does. No, disc 1 is all the demos, that's right. And then disc 2 is live, recorded Gulfport, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Huntsville, Alabama, and Atlanta, Georgia. I was at the Atlanta show that this was recorded on. So I saw them the first time in Tallahassee, Florida. And then a few months later, me and Mike Seatown went to see them in Atlanta at a place called the Somber Reptile. Any Atlanta heads, you probably remember the Somber Reptile. But that was 22 years ago. That was it. It had to have been in 2000. It's the first CD is the Crave the Blood demo and Horror Infinity. Fucking killer, old death metal, Tampa death metal. And then disc 2 is all live from the first 3 albums and the demo stuff. It's really good, really killer. I also have the full length that followed that. It's the other full length with Jason Avery, the guy that replaced Corpse Grinder on vocals, who in my opinion is the best Monstrosity vocalist. It's called Rise to Power, and it's okay. It doesn't have what In Dark Purity has. Maybe if I had heard it instead first, I'd love it just as much. But it is in my truck right now. So then we have a lone Moonblood bootleg. Focus there. Moonblood, of course, is a German black metal band. I absolutely adore Moonblood. When I first really started getting deep into black metal around 2002, I started listening to black metal in 1997 when I was in high school. But it really clicked with me. 01, 02, 03, somewhere in there. And Moonblood was one of the first bands that I really went down the rabbit hole with. They have a ton of demos, tons of releases. They've been broken up for fucking ever. And this is called Ferd and Sieg. It is a rehearsal 1995, a rehearsal March 1996, and another rehearsal 1996. They were a 2-piece band. Occulta Moors played everything, and Gamalzagoth was all the vocals. Iron Bonehead put out a box set a couple years ago of most everything on the LP, and it's really good. But Moonblood played really cold, riffy black metal, very locked into a trance, long passages of riffs. I can't underestimate how cold and just eerie Moonblood sounded. But absolutely adored Moonblood. If I remember correctly, this sounds like shit. They never released CDs. Everything was cassette tapes. And then they put out the Bluten Krieg LP. But all of that is in that box set. You can also buy it all separate now too, I think. But I love Moonblood. But I think that CD, if I remember correctly, it sounds like shit. Alright, next we have my lone Moonspell CD. Moonspell, of course, Portuguese black metal band back in the day. This is their album Irreligious, which is not black metal. It's almost like goth rock. I bought this based on track 2 Opium, which was on a comp I had, and I absolutely loved it. It's like black metal Depeche Mode. And I came across this in a used record store. It was probably the place in Tallahassee, Vinyl something. I don't remember. Damn it, it was there forever. I'll have to look it up and put it on the screen. Vinyl something. It's not there anymore. But I used to go there every time I go to Tallahassee. And you could always walk out of there with a stack of extreme metal CDs. Every time. But I love this album. Like I said, it's dark, kind of goth rock. I ended up seeing Moonspell years and years and years later. I didn't give a shit about anything they played, but then they played Opium, and I was stoked, and that was it. Everybody who likes Moonspell probably thinks I'm a poser for liking this album, but it's the only one I like. Next, we have a few Morbid Angel CDs, because the others are either in that stack back there where I've pulled them and listened to them and not put them back on the shelf, and I know that a couple are in my car, because I have them all. Well, I have all the ones you need to have. But let's start. So, Altars of Madness is in my truck. I know that. Altars of Madness fucking rules. Blessed Are the Sick, their second album. I know people that don't like this. I know people that love Altars and love Covenant and don't like this because it was so much slower and it was darker and more, you know, I don't want to say groovy, but it wasn't as visceral as Altars of Madness was. But I love Blessed Are the Sick. I don't know if you can see, but the front of my leg right here is a tattoo of the cover of it that I've had for over 20 years. And it looks like a 20-year-old tattoo now. But not my favorite album, but it was the one that had artwork that lended to going to being a tattoo when I decided to do that so many years ago. But I love this record. This is an original press of the CD that I've had for as long as I can remember. Of course, the artwork is Les Trésors de Satan, the treasures of Satan. I have 3 images of Satan on my body, including that one, including Humanity is the Devil from Integrity, and then this one on my forearm, which is Satan devouring people. So, which I've gotten since my last video a year ago. I've probably gotten a lot of my arm done since then. So, anyway, Blessed Are the Sick. It fucking rules. It's just, Morbid Angel had such a distinct sound. And they created something that can never be replicated. And sure, there's bands that are influenced by Morbid Angel. My band is influenced by Morbid Angel. We have parts in our songs that we call, that's the Rapture part. And that's, you know, that's the Altars of Madness riff. That's the Immortal Rights riff. But nothing will recapture the sound that they had in the early 90s. And I think that this record is just as important as Altars, but it really gets overlooked in my opinion. You know, it's not as dark, but it's not as violent sounding as Altars. It's not as possessed sounding as Altars. But Blessed Are the Sick is just unfucking touchable. I can fall from grace. Hot winds burning me, burning as I fall. God damn. I fucking love this album. Day of Suffering. And of course, you know, Desolate Ways. Richard Brunel, his instrumental composition, just fantastic. So, I love Blessed Are the Sick. Next, we have, I'm going to do Covenant last. Entangled in Chaos, it's their live album, the first live album. It's good. I mean, it's all, it's mostly Altars. Let me see. Yeah, Altars. It's got Rapture and Blood on My Hands on it. Oh, and Dominates on it. Weird. Okay. So this is, I think it came out in 95, so it's post Domination. But it's heavy on Altars of Madness. Anyway, Tangled to Chaos, it's good. Nowhere in this listed anywhere. And this is a bootleg. It's a shitty, like, South American bootleg that I bought at some used record store not that long ago. Sorry, my voice. I think I have COVID. Did I mention that? So I'm home alone. My wife and child are on vacation. I couldn't go. I had to work. I spent all week out of town. Came home yesterday, started feeling like shit. Woke up this morning, took a COVID test. It was positive. It's mainly just the cough. But a little bit of like aches and pains, no fever or anything. So I'm gonna take another one tomorrow and see if it was a false positive. I might just have like chest crud. Anyway, Tangled in Chaos. Nowhere in this, nowhere online, does it say when and where this was recorded. It is not the Live in Nottingham recordings, because this has a different track list. The Live in Nottingham stuff from 1989 from Rock City has been released 1,000 fucking times. They need to stop releasing that in different iterations. Anyway, Tangled in Chaos live record. It's awesome. So, Covenant. I have 2 CD copies. This one, I have no CD or booklet. This was my original copy that I bought when I was like 14 years old. I first heard Morbid Angel in late 93, early 94, somewhere in there. I've told this story before. A friend of mine gave me a mixtape. Had a bunch of rock like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains on it. Black Sabbath song, Danzig song, Iron Maiden song. But it was a full tape, like a 45-minute tape, front and back, full. The last song on side 2 was God of Emptiness. And I was just blown away. I was like, what the fuck is this? And he was like, oh, that's death metal. Don't know where he got it from. He told me he didn't make the tape. He had gotten it from someone, gave it to me. I may still have it in a box somewhere in my attic. I don't throw shit away. I mean, look behind me. I don't get rid of anything. But that was 30 years, almost 30 years ago. I'm 41 years old. So, I don't know. Anyway, I was blown away by that song. It made me feel dirty listening to it. It literally scared me. Like, you know, I was this impressionable fucking 12-year-old 7th grader who, you know, was scared that I was going to go to hell when I believed in hell, for listening to this nasty music. And then a couple years later, I'd grown out of that. I was listening to more, you know, getting into heavier music, and I bought this at a used CD store. I used to keep all of my CDs in a big binder, and if you're my age, you'll understand that we had CD players in our cars, and you kept a big book with all your CDs in it. And my book was a 200 CD book, but I would put 2 CDs in each slot, so I had like 400 CDs in it. And somewhere online, I let someone borrow my copy of Covenant. I gave them the book and the disc and said, here, give it back to me. Never got it back. Don't know who that was. So someone made off with my Covenant CD 100 years ago. So then, one day, I found another copy in a used CD store, but someone cut the fucking logo off of it. And I don't remember if I noticed that or if I didn't notice until I got home. But it doesn't have the logo, but it has everything else. It's I want to say, they're the exact same press. And I believe they are first press. They're the Giant pressing. I'm sure all you know this. If you don't, Giant Records was a major label, it was a subsidiary, I believe, of Atlantic Records. And Morbid Angel was the first major label death metal band assigned to a major label. I'm not editing this either. I don't feel like it, so you're gonna have to deal with all my fuck ups. I'm literally gonna fucking upload this from my phone later. Hold on, I gotta change the music because Frenolith is over. And let's see, what is look what we got. Look what is right nearby. Oh, hell yeah, and it's rewound. Okay. I guess I'll start playing. Hey, I have a little Morbid Angel shirt. I just realized that. Covenant on cassette tape. OG pressing of that. I bought this from my friend Kyle Powell. Kyle is in the band Engorge. He gets a lot of flack on the internet for being a Nazi. But guess what? He's black. He's not a Nazi. I bought that from him a couple years ago. He was getting rid of all these tapes. Kyle's in his 50s. He's old. He's always been a big supporter of my band. He used to play drums for Mortician in the late 90s too. Pretty cool. So, Covenant. Covenant laid the groundwork. It is the best death metal album of all time. I have it in all 3 formats. Of course, I have the LP. I have the tape. I have 2 CDs of it. If I ever come across another CD version with an intact booklet, I'm going to buy it too, so I have a complete one. Because I'm a fucking nerd like that about certain bands, Morbid Angel being one of them. They're the reason I got into extreme music. They're the reason I got into death metal. This album is just untouchable. It was the stars aligned, and this band crafted something that can never be replicated. And you can say that about Altars, you can say that about Blessed, but Covenant is just firing on all cylinders. It's got a perfect production. It's dark. It's analog, but you can hear everything. It's not overproduced, but if you take something like Macabre, Dahmer, that is the loudest, clearest, most well-produced death metal album of all time. It's considerably louder than every other record, but you can hear everything. It's crystalline. This record is very dark. It's very natural sounding, but you can hear the bass. You can hear every bit of the drum kit, the kicks, and they're still dampened. They're still thumpy. It's not clicky at all. It's just, God, it's so fucking good. And every song has a hook. Every song has a riff. Every song has just got like insane Triazictoth solos. I can't say anything about it that people don't already fucking know. And if you don't like this album, I don't understand how. Especially if you're older like I am. I mean, if you're younger and you came into death metal from a different avenue, maybe it doesn't make sense to you. I don't know. I'm coming to grips now that people are getting into death metal from like their gateway band was Slipknot and their gateway band was nu metal. And there's guys now that are in their 30s. They're like, oh yeah, like I was my favorite album of all time, but I play in fucking Morbid Goat Fornication. And it's hard for me because, I went from like Def Leppard and Poison and Bon Jovi to Guns N' Roses to Pantera to Morbid Angel and punk rock in there and hardcore. And I never got into like mainstream stuff. I was just, by the time nu metal came around, I was death metal. When Slipknot came out, I was death metal and black metal, and I was like, it's just dumb. It's still dumb. I'll never fucking be like, oh yeah, I see the merit in it. No, that shit sucks. But Covenant, man, it's my favorite death metal album of all time. God of Emptiness is my favorite song ever written. It's just untouchable. It is absolutely untouchable. God damn. Okay, next. Morbid Goat Fornicator. I swear I didn't know that was sitting there when I said that a minute ago. Yeah, so I have a CD by a band called Morbid Goat Fornicator, and it is still sealed. Probably got it in a trade. Old Cemetery Records. Came through a trade. I guarantee you know what this sounds like, okay? Enough of this shit. This CD's probably 10 years old. 2009. Okay, it's 13 years old. But there's still bands doing this. Gas mask metal. It all sounds the same. Stop doing it. Blasphemy did it the best. That's it. Speaking of, shit, how are their CDs? Morbosidad. Gas mask metal, war metal, goat metal, satanic goat metal, whatever you want to call it. Morbosidad's awesome. I've always been a fan. Let me see what I've got. This is an early one on Evil Mord Records. I don't know if it's their first album. Cogete a Dios por el culo. That's fuck somebody in the ass, I think. I'm not sure. But fell apart when I opened it. Morboso metal. I mean, but Morbosidad, they play just evil, nasty war metal, you know, satanic Mexican war metal. This is the same release plus a self-titled release. It's a re-release on, of course, Nuclear War Now. Then this is a full-length Profano La Cruz del Nazareno. I have a lot of their stuff on vinyl too because they've had a long history with NWN. I did a lot of graphic design stuff, I still do, for NWN, including I did the layout for this, the split with Perverser. Chris Moyen did the artwork, but I did all of the layout and design in it. All this cut and paste looking shit. This particular release, so that's Tomas Stench in the middle. I'm not sure who that is, but this is Edgar Garcia, the main guy behind Disgorge Mexico. Ed's a buddy of mine. Funny story, I love Disgorge Mexico. One of my favorite, like, grindy, like, gross death metal bands. Adore them. Always have adored them. Joined Facebook 100 years ago. One of my very first friend requests was Edgar Garcia. He's like, I love Father Befouled. We've been friends ever since. Actually talked to him like last week. He wants me to do a Disgorge layout for him. I don't know who did that artwork. That's not Thorncross. That's not Chris Moyen. Anyway, this is a split with Perverser. Morbosidad's good. They're good at what they do. They sound like Morbosidad. Now, is all their shit interchangeable? Yeah. They're that kind of band. That's how they sound. Interesting story. I have never met Tomas Stench. I've never seen Morbosidad. I've missed them. They played Atlanta, a fest a couple years ago, and I was there the first day. I wasn't there the second day. They played. I missed them. But I've never met Tomas Stench. But I've had dinner at his parents' house in Oakland, California. How'd that happen? Yosuke from NWN used to be his brother-in-law. And we went there one evening to pick up his daughter from her grandparents' house, Tomas's parents. And we had dinner while we were there. So I've had dinner and met Tomas Stench's parents and his brother, Anthony, I think. This was like 13 years ago. Who was hilarious. We spent the whole day together the next day. Me, Yosuke, and Tomas's brother. I remember it was my birthday. And I was in California on my birthday. And I wanted to go to In-N-Out. So we all went to In-N-Out. But anyway, yeah. I've been to Tomas Stench's parents' house before, but I've never met him. Real quick. Damn, we're at half an hour. I got Morbid. M-O-R-D. Black metal. It came out on Southern Lord, which is weird. It's one of those, like, it looks like it's a true cult, you know, black metal release, but it came out on Southern Lord. So is it really dudes in like skinny jeans and scarves, or is it actually black metal? I don't know. They never did. If they did anything else, I didn't keep up with them. I mean, that guy looks legit, doesn't he? Okay, so. They're not from Brooklyn. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to run into him anywhere. I'm sure he's nice. Look, man. Necro Lucas. His name's probably Lucas, and they're like, what's your black metal name? Oh, Necro Lucas. I bet he kisses his grandma on the cheek. Look at him, though. Christendom perished. It doesn't say where they... I don't remember where they were from. Anyway, they're called Morbid. They played black metal. The layout's too dark. You can't fucking read anything on the back, but there's printing there. And then last, Mortem, the Rites of Depopulation. More black metal, I guess. So... Oh, black metal from Pennsylvania. So, any dudes, you know, hanging out in corpse paint. I don't think I've ever listened to this. If you go back to my early videos, or if you're an early supporter of my channel, you'll hear me talk about this giant trade I did 100 years ago where I got like 200 fucking bottom grade fucking cutout bin death and black metal CDs. And this was in that trade. That's all I can tell you about it. Don't know anything else. Mortem is ominous guitar vocals, Wretch bass, and Mystic Yucha drums. Recorded fall 2011 in Ambler, Pennsylvania, by Evan Williams. I know a guy named Evan Williams, but I don't think he's ever been in a band. Anyway, it may be good. I don't know. I've never listened to it. So, that's it. I'm sorry it took so long. A year for me to make another video. I'm going to try to keep it semi-regular from here on out. I've said that every time, but at least enjoy this one. I enjoy making them. Honestly, I really do. I enjoy making these videos. I love talking about this stuff. I just have to get back into doing it. It's all like me being lazy. That's the reason. It's just me being fucking lazy. But I've always got 100 other things to do. So, talk about this stuff. Let's chat in the comments. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm real close to 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to hit that. Let's see what, I'll try to keep this going. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.